What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my July 2024 dividend income, which is a record-breaking month, and I only received 7 dividends. So my portfolio currently has $63,088, and then let's just get right into this video. So starting off the beginning of the month, July 1st, I received 2 dividends from ADP and SCHD. SCHD was $194.81, which is the largest dividend I've ever received from both SCHD and in general. And this SCHD dividend was supposed to be paid in June, but they decided to pay it on the very 1st of July. And so I believe in this Q3, I'm going to have 2 SCHD dividends. So I'm hoping the next one breaks $200. But moving on, ADP paid $10.98, putting me at $205.79 on the very first day of the month. So we already broke $200 on July 1st, which is insane. So let's check this out. I have just over $2,000 in ADP. I did buy a lot of stock recently after selling some of my underperforming stocks that didn't have very great dividend growth. So I have 7.84 shares at an average price of $191.38. Current price $264.09. So this stock has grown a lot. It's one of my more underrated stocks. I never would have imagined ADP would perform this well, but they do have a good dividend yield, 2.12%, and their most recent dividend growth was 20%, but I don't remember their average dividend growth rate. However, I'm hoping they increase their dividend by another 20%, or even if they cut that in half at 10%, that would be amazing. Next up, we have SCHD, my favorite ETF. So I currently have $19,782, very close to $20,000. I have 241.36 shares at an average price of $73.60. Current price is $81.96. And then they still have a great dividend yield at 3.46% and anywhere from 12 to 13% dividend growth. Now, SCHD has been trading flat for the past few years. However, I believe their current performance this year is about 6.88%, which, yeah, it's underperforming the S&P 500, but 6.88% growth is still great. If you get 7% growth year over year, that means that the price is going to double in 10 years. So I am still loving SCHD. Now let's move on to the next one. On July 3rd, I received my very first dividend from VICI, which was $42.09, putting me at $247.88 just on the third day of the month. So I have $3,200 in VICI. I have 101.41 shares at an average price of $29.42. It's only grown a little bit, but honestly, I haven't owned this stock for very long. It's currently $31.59. They do have a high dividend yield of 5.26%. And I don't remember their dividend growth rate. I haven't owned it long enough for them to increase their dividend, but I believe it's around 7%, which would be great dividend growth in general. But moving on to July 8th, I received $8.95 from Merck. So I have $1,300 in the stock, 11.61 shares, and an average price of $73.69. Then it has grown quite a lot. That's a great gain. $113.67 current price. Good dividend yield, 2.71%. And I want to say they have around the 7% dividend growth range. So all in all, great healthcare company to own. Next up, we have Altria Group, which gave me $23.07, putting me at $279.09 for the month, which I believe that might be a record already. And I still have 2 more stocks to go. but I have $1,200 in Altria, 23.54 shares, average price of $42.17. Current price $51.32. So a little bit of a gain there. And they do have a very high dividend yield of 7.64%, which I would normally say that you want to shy away from high dividend yield stocks. But Altria is basically a consumer staple. And while they do have lower dividend growth around the 4% range, it's a 4% dividend growth on top of their already high dividend yield. So that's why I continue to own this stock. And then we are ending the month of July on the 15th, where I received $21.53 from FRT, and then $24.88 from O Realty. Then I'll share my dividend record and the final tally when I get to my dividend growth chart. But starting at FRT, I have just over $2,200. I have 19.75 shares at an average price of $86.08. Currently has a really good gain, actually currently selling at $113.31. And they have a great dividend yield of 3.88% and decent dividend growth from this stock. This stock, a few years ago, this stock was actually my top performer. I think it had doubled or almost doubled for me. So really another underrated stock and an underrated REIT that I enjoy owning. Next up, Realty Income, just over $5,700, 95.44 shares, average price of $55.38, and then a current price of $60.05. So just a small gain, but still have a great dividend yield of 5.26%. And while their dividend growth hasn't been that great the past few years due to the circumstances with the pandemic and interest rates being increased, this is still one of my favorite REITs to own. Now we'll see what happens with VICI because that was an amazing dividend that I received from them. But all in all, I still love Realty Income. It's a great monthly dividend paying stock. And I believe it's my only monthly payer now. Now, coming up to the dividend growth chart, as you can see in July 2024, I earned $326.31. This is my record for dividend income. The only other month that was high was September 2023 of $282.30. So it looks like my dividend income from 710 was not a record breaker. But either way, that's an amazing month of earning dividends. As you can see, I currently have $1,229.22 for the year of 2024. And we still have 4.5 months to go. So I think this year could break 2,000, depending on the next two SCHD dividends. But if this was the end of my dividend income for the year, I would average $102.44 a month. So guys, thank you for watching this video and stick around for the August 2024 video.